Hello everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to try to run a machine learning model over the web using Streamlit. Here we can see that the model is able to take certain parameters that you can specify, like the person's characteristics, the age, the gender, the smile, the hair. So there are many other parameters that you can choose, and the model will take that and generate a face for you. This is an unknown face, a GAN, which basically will create a very high resolution image for you. So let's go into see and how we can develop it. Before we go into the project, let's understand where this application came from. Back in 2018, NVIDIA came out with this research paper called Progressive Growing GAN. Here, what they showed was you could give a random noise, a random number, and the AI would be able to generate a very high resolution of a celebrity face. You can see all these faces being generated by the NVIDIA's algorithm. This was a this was called as PGGAN back then, and it was a huge deal. Later, this gentleman, Xiaobo Guan, he took it up a notch. What he did was he instead of like the NVIDIA was using random number or random noise to generate these faces, what he did was he was able to control the parameters in that face. What he did was previously when NVIDIA, he shows it very nicely in this paper, he also has a Kaggle notebook that you can run and you can see his code. So what he explained was the NVIDIA PG, or the progressive growing GAN, was using a random noise vector for its latent features, and it was creating these random profiles. But in his case, he translated those features and then came out with these custom features that you could define in a face, and then you could generate the face with more control over what you want. So you can see that it's able to create different genders, different profiles, different faces from the same vector. And you can see right here, so a female's face, then progressively going towards a male's face. Similarly, he'll show you a very good matrix. But this one gives a very good example. Now, say, look into this particular section where a person is basically controlling the beard. And beard is something which is characteristic of a male and not a female. But the AI can control that, can anticipate, okay, if the beard is being asked on a female's face, it won't show it. It can only show it on a male's face. And you will still see a female's face come up if the beard is 0. Similarly, if the beard is high, then it'll show up in a male's face. It will control the male's face. So the AI is very much trained and creates realistic images out of nowhere. Now, coming down to what we are doing. Streamlit, so this is a new application for me, and I'm still learning it. And I find it very fascinating. They are able to help us upload or deploy our machine learning model on a web page. So imagine a Flask server or a Django server, and you have Python running behind it. Streamlit is something very similar, but it makes it very easy. So you have a machine learning model, you can just simply dump on it, and Streamlit will create that web portal for you to run your machine learning model. So in the description of this video, you'll find this face scan demo. This is through Streamlit, and we're just trying to learn and understand how Streamlit works. So you can run that Colab file and just simply go in and run runtime, run all. It'll take care of you. The only thing you want to make sure is here, you will see this warning come up, and it'll ask you to restart the runtime. It's okay. I've noticed if I don't restart, it does work properly. This is the main function, and this application is partly coming from this gentleman's application, this person's code, and part of Streamlit. So here you're basically just or creating the backend for that particular app or web app. So once you're running that, it'll create this app.py file, which we will then use to deploy. The next thing is, since we are using one on a Colab, we will use ngrok. So you can run this, and then once you're done with ngrok, then you're going to be, once you have installed, then you will run ngrok on this particular portal here. It will create this URL. Let me close this and I'll show you there is one thing you want to be careful about when you're doing this. So, let's now, I have switched off my app, and everything is switched off. Let me, in fact, close everything here so it's not confusing. Come down here, and we are trying to run ngrok. You'll get this error where it says index error links. The list is, or the list index is out of range. No worries. Just go back and rerun this, and it'll then generate the URL. So if you come across that error, don't not to worry. Just restart, and it'll take care of it. Once you're done with this part, then run this particular code. And here, Streamlit will also create some URL links. These links will not work since you're running through a Colab and the Colab is hosted elsewhere in the cloud. For that purpose, we will use ngrok. So this particular host that you see here, these links are hosted on this link, and this link can be accessed from an outside IP. So this is how the IP would open up, and then you can run the app on your computer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll be looking forward to this, and I'll be exploring this a little bit more. Just finding it very interesting. With that, take care, stay safe, bye bye.